$100, you know.
Definitely not call them, but so I have a little automation, little workflow that I built that when we start, and this is something I'll cover on the leases, Eat Week starts this week. Tuesday, 2 p.m. is my Eat training for leases. I dive into this process a little bit deeper, kind of a little visual aid, if you will. But I do want to find out what the comp is. It's generally going to be 50% of 1 month's rent all the time, but I do want that in writing up front. So I won't call them. I want it in writing. It actually saved my butt on one deal where they just wanted to give me $100 versus like 1,100. So that it actually helped me. It's rare that it's not 50%, and it's rare that they won't pay. But I do want to find out, in writing up front.
If it is one of those ones that's like $150, do you show that property to your clients?
If it's usually one of those smaller ones, those are typically going to be self-tour as well. So anything under 350 is generally going to be a self-tour property. I just need to find the website and find the self-tour instructions and just send it to the client. And, hey, you go look and then let me know. So that's another topic, because self-tour properties, property management kind of ties into that. That's a whole nother animal. And I do cover that in my Eat Week tomorrow, my Eat training. But yeah, I mean, like, why is like bad credit not a deal breaker, right? Like why is a 580 credit score not a deal breaker, or a 550 credit score, or 500? I had someone tell me, what's the lowest credit score you had? Someone, and you got them approved for a rental. I don't know, like I think 4 something, right? Like low 4s. Like, to me, credit, I mean, it's important, but it's like number 3, maybe number 4 on the list of what really matters when it comes to a rental. So one of my things I wanted to touch on last week is like basically when to prep your client to expect to pay additional deposits. Like when should you have that conversation with them, that they might have to pay double deposit? And the answer to that is all the time, right? Always. You never know. So what I like to do when I'm onboarding a new renter client, I got my whole presentation, short and sweet, right? And then I'm going over, okay, so everything sound good? Yeah, sounds great. Okay, cool. Move-in date, August 5th. Yep. Okay, great. All right. So before we go over next steps, before I send you my rep agreement, before I send you everything I'm gonna need from you, before everything, let's talk money. Okay. And they perk up. Okay, yeah. Now this is what matters the most, is the money. Let's talk about money. Yep, money. All right. So when I got you approved, right? Let's talk deposit and rent. So deposit is going to be equal to 1 month's rent. You ever rented a house before? No, actually, first time. Always been in an apartment. Okay, definitely different. It's a different animal when it comes to deposits. So once we have the approval lined up, you're going to need to have 1 month's rent as a deposit, and that's going to be due within 24 hours of signing that lease. Okay, so you want to move in, August, let's say August 15th, but let's say we get that lease signed July 31st. That initial deposit is going to be due July 31st. Okay. Now, because you got 550 credit, you're going to probably, there's a good possibility they'll want additional deposit. It could be anywhere between $1,000 to, another full month's rent. Right. So just be prepared for that. Okay. Take that in mind, that might be due as well. And if needed, maybe we can pay that the following week as you get that first month's rent paid in, but there's that possibility you might have a double deposit. Okay. And then to get the keys and begin moving in, you're going to have to come up with first month's rent. Okay. So by August 15th, the deadline of when you're looking to move in, when the lease starts, that's when you're going to need to come up with the first month's rent to pay the key, to get the keys to begin moving in. So all in all, over the next 2-3 weeks, you're going to need about $4,000 or $5,000, right? You're going to need somewhere right around there. Okay. Not all at once, right? We'll break it up as you go, but you're going to need about that to begin moving in. Based on all of that, of what I just told you, is August 15th still a reasonable move date for you? So that's what I do. That's how I go over the money part, because I want to give them what it's going to look like money-wise, because I don't want them scrambling last minute. I don't want them getting cold feet once we get closer along the way. I want to make sure they're serious. Okay. And this is how you can also flip them to a buyer. They say, oh yeah, I got 10 grand. Okay, cool. Well, let me ask you another question. Is the only reason why you're not buying is because of your credit? Yeah, that's it. That's if my credit was where it needed to be, we'll be buying. Okay. Any possibility that we can maybe get you with a credit partner, get you with a lender, kind of get some credit. What do you think about staying where you're at for like 6 months, go month to month, or do a short-term renewal? Let's figure out a game plan on your credit, and then we can look into buying a home as opposed to renting, right? Throw that out there, right? And they may say, no, I mean, I like it, but we do need to get out of here. Like, we do need to get out of this apartment. Really, we got to do that first. Why don't we do that, and then we'll work on a credit and we'll buy next year? I'm like, okay, fair enough, right? But have little plugs in there to drop the the buying process as opposed to renting. Tanya said pet deposits. Yep. Okay. If they got pets, yeah, bring that up too. Say, bring up the, where I'm talking about the deposit earlier. Say pet deposit can be anywhere between $300 to $500, right? Somewhere right around there, right? And maybe more if you got multiple pets, right? So when they're having that deposit talk, bring that up as well. Because again, I want to pin them down to that move date. Let's stick to it. Is that still going to be, needing to push it back some now because you need more money, save some more money? Or they may say, okay, no, I got it. I'll go and ask so-and-so, to borrow some money so I can begin, moving in. Let me pause on the money part, on the deposits and rent. Let me pause on that money. Let me pause on that money part. Does anyone have any other questions regarding deposits, or what other questions? I shouldn't say, do you? What other questions do you guys have when it comes to deposit and rent?
I have a question on so I see that the initial deposit is due after the signing of the lease, regardless of when that move-in date is. And then if there's an additional deposit, you mentioned that it could be paid possibly like a week after signing the lease. Did I understand that correctly? Or
Yeah, so let's say again, move date for this client, hypothetically August 15th. Okay. I'm gonna pull up my calendar. I'm a visual guy, so I gotta have a little visual aid. Okay, so okay, let's do a real scenario.
Okay.
Lead comes in right now, having a good conversation. I want to move. Christine, I gotta move. Gotta move. Okay, cool. Perfect. Today's July 27th. Blah, blah, blah. All right. So when you need to move, okay, I gotta move ASAP. All right. Looking at my calendar, let's say this person decides August 14th is their move date. Okay, that's what they can stick to. And let's say you show them some houses, you got them approved, you got the lease signing by, let's just say by the 29th, which is this Wednesday. Okay. They signed the lease on the 29th. That initial deposit would be due like 30th, right? Maybe 31st. If they need to wait till Friday, you can push it out a little bit. But it's not really, the deal's not really locked in until that deposit has been exchanged. Okay. And let's say in this case here, we're talking about your client has a broken lease. Okay. And the landlord says, we will approve because we like everything else. Just that broken lease makes us a little worried. We're going to need additional, we're going to need double deposit. Okay. So, okay, cool. What if we get 31st? We'll get one of the deposits in. 7th, which is the following Friday, we get another deposit. We get the second part of the deposit in. And 14th, that's when they'll get the keys to begin, moving in. That's a scenario there, right? You could also do something like, I've done this before, where maybe 31st initial deposit, 14th rent, but they needed a little extra time to get that additional deposit in. And, maybe in the 28th they'll get that other deposit, like after they move in. I don't really like that because you do run the risk, but that has happened sometimes. That's an option too. I just kind of would leave that as like a plan B kind of option. Plan A is I like to get all the deposits and all that stuff knocked out before moving in, so I don't get roped right back in later on. Hey, your client didn't pay the second deposit. I don't want to deal with that stuff. I don't want to get roped back into that. I'd rather just have it all done before move in. So once they get the keys, all that's said and done, we're moving on. That's it. And I'll follow up in 6 months, see where they're at. That help, Christine?
yes, thank you.
What else you guys got when it comes to deposit and rent? Or are we good to talk about what are some things that outweigh credit? Let's talk about that. Okay, Joe, how do you get someone approved without more deposit? Not bad credit. A couple things that will stand out and be more powerful than credit. Rental history. Okay, let's say no evictions, no broken leases, all that's clean. And on top of that, you can get a letter of recommendation from current landlord and previous landlord. That's a big plus, right? That's an asset you can bring to the table to help your client get their deposit reduced. You could also get a 12-month ledger, a 12-month payment history from the current rental showing, oh yeah, look, rent's always been paid on time, never late. Here's more evidence. I get it, credit's bad, but look at the rental history, right? It's perfect, right? So they pay other stuff late, but they don't pay you, Mr. Landlord, late. They pay landlord first, right? You guys get the money first. So that's another thing that can really help decrease the probability of having to pay additional deposit. Income, right? Show all the income. Let's say they make like 5 times the rent, right? They got, two dual household income. Everyone's making good money, a lot of income flowing through the house, and with good rental history, nothing to worry about, Mr. Landlord. Those are some things that outweigh credit, right? Outweigh the credit score itself. One thing that I do, if I do see that the rental history is not that great, right? Maybe there's an unpaid rental collection from 4 years ago. Maybe there's an eviction on the record. I help the client draft up a letter of explanation, right? So tell me what happened. And it never is, I just didn't want to pay the rent. Like I just wanted to be a douche and not pay the rent because I hate those guys. It's never that. It's always an outside life event that occurs, and we're all human beings. It's an outside life event that occurred that put them in a spot where they couldn't pay the rent. Like, something happened. They just, I had one story yesterday that they had unpaid rental collection from 4 years ago. And, it's because their daughter was diagnosed with brain cancer, and everything went into saving my daughter's life, right? Like medical bills were crazy, and life kicked us in the butt, and rent fell behind here and there, and because all the money went into the doctors, and what we needed. That's a life event that occurred, right? Let's put that together, a letter of explanation. We'll explain that, and that'll help get these approvals pushed through. And likely we might have to pay more deposit, but likely not, right? So having all the good stuff outweigh the bad, right, is what you got to do as an agent that represents a tenant, is help the landlord see all the good in your client. Not like, oh, here's, we'll just hope and see, right? We'll hope and see that, here's everything, but let's hope and pray it'll get approved, right? No, like show all the good. Show all the good. This is why this is a good tenant. I'm vouching for them. I'm fighting for them. They should be a great tenant. Here's everything you need to make a decision. Here's everything you need to know, right? Put all that together in one nice packet. And that also is a reason why we'll get approvals even with bad credit, and we'll get approvals for folks that don't even have to put double deposit. I don't know if Glorious is on the call, but and Marcus too, he's on here. It's really in the presentation. It's how we present the client to the other side that really helps reduce the need for a deposit. What I mean by that is when we send out an application to a listing agent for review, it's everything that they would need is in one shot. So they don't have to ask for, they may ask for it. It's unlikely they're going to need anything else. What I mean by that is we got the RINSPRE report. We got proof of income, IDs, Texas Realtor application, letter of explanation, right? Like the things that they're going to need to see to make a decision, everything is right here for you. Okay. Run it by the landlord. Let us know. Mind you, we haven't shown the property yet, right? Because I don't want to go show a property, get them all excited, fall in love, and then just to find out they can't get it, right? Or there's another 2 or 3 applications on it. Here's our app. Here's what it will look like. Run it by the landlord. Come back with some feedback. Yay, nay, possibly, right? Give me something. Give me some feedback, and then we'll go from there, right? Mind you that the majority of realtors out there that do leases, they're doing things in pieces, okay? Or they're doing everything's back, or what they were trained to do, which in my opinion is backwards, but they're doing it, go show the house. Okay, cool. Hey, we're interested. We want to go ahead and apply. Okay, let's pay the application fee. Okay, what do you like? It's just like, it's in pieces, So if you do it reverse, which I think is the way you should be, here's everything in one full packet, run it by the landlord, would they approve or not? And then, because keep in mind too, I know that there are listing agents and landlords that would rather not charge someone an application fee to tell them no and have to deal with that, like that, just that awkward situation. They appreciate the fact that we're sending them everything they need to make a decision right there. And I'd say 9 times out of 10, we'll get an approval without double deposit, just on the simple fact that everything was presented in a nice and neat fashion, organized and professional, and they're able to make a quick decision. Where
Quick
the other
question,
agents are
Joe.
putting things in pieces. What you got, Robin?
What about, like, say you have the rent, you do have the rent spree and all, and you're just talking to the agent about everything, and they're like, well, I know you said that their credit score is 580, but honestly, we can't do anything until, or give you an answer until we received everything. When you're just trying to get like everything out of the way before you actually submit, um, you just bypass that and you're just like, okay, let me go ahead and submit all of the documents right then and there.
Yeah, what do you mean by
Or
everything, Robin? What is everything?
the application, the bank, I mean their paycheck stubs or their bank statements, like all of the documents. When they say they can't make a decision, like not really a decision, but tell us even what they're looking at if they have a bad score. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't submit a rent spree by itself. It's full blown packet. Full blown packet
okay.
is rent spree, rental app, proof of income, ID, letter of explanation. So I'll run through the rent spree and I'll quickly look for unpaid rental collections. I'll even look for slow pays. If I see anything that's slow paid, like right now, like the car payment's being slow paid or the credit card's being slow paid. So I vet them out on my side first. So if I
So-
do see that, I need to find out why for my client. Hey, what's going on? Because they're going to probably ask me about this. What's going on?
So when you say you check out the houses before you actually show them, is that you sending them the list before you get all of your documents, or you already have the rent spree and application and all their documents already?
I think there's 2 questions there. And can you clarify your first part? So you said something about the houses.
Yes. So you don't send them houses to look at just like via looking at like on the computer or their phone until you receive all of their documents, correct?
It depends. This is kind of like a lead gen thing as well, or something that can help convert. Most cases I don't. Most cases I want to kind of have, hey, I'll send you some properties that would meet your qualifications after I get everything in, right? So kind of motivate them to get everything in.
Yeah.
But you could also use that as a tool if someone's kind of on the fence a little bit. Send them a list. Make sure your hard notifications are set up so you can see if they're engaging with your list. By engaging, meaning did they go visit the portal? Are they visiting the portal for the first time? Are they favoriting properties? You can kind of engage with them. The temperature, of the lead.
Okay. So say that you did that. You went ahead and gave them the leads without getting all their documents or getting the rent spree back or anything like that. Do you still reach out to the tenants if they give you back the houses that they like, the clients, but you still haven't received the documents? Do you at that time reach out to the real estate agents to find out more information? No, you hold off on that till they get your documents.
I don't have a client yet.
Oh, gotcha.
Right? That's what you're saying. You haven't got your docs yet.
Yeah.
They're trying to eat dessert before eat their vegetables. Don't work that
Okay,
way in my
gotcha.
house.
So you don't mind throwing a bone and like letting them look at a few houses that's within their requirements and stuff, but you're not doing any
Hell
work
no.
after that.
Hell no.
Gotcha.
This is a lease.
Okay.
This is a lease. This ain't a multi-million-dollar listing right here. This is a lease.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
I don't lift a finger. I don't get in my car. I don't spend time until I got what I need. Until then, you are a ghost to me. You're a lead. Not a client yet. You're a lead. I'll follow up, check in, where we're at. What do you need? Your questions. You're engaging with the listings. You see, you know, you're liking it. You ain't got me the docs. What are you worried about? Straight up, just call them out on it. Like, what are you worried about?
Then let me ask you, you've gotten all the documents, um, you've shown them places, um, you sent the application over to your client to see about applying. And it's just you've been ghosted, like you cannot get a hold of this person. What's your follow-up like that, for how long and how often and everything?
Oh, you've been ghosted after all of that?
Yeah.
Nah. Okay, something's wrong. Something's is probably in the very beginning. Is so my consultations could be 10, 15 minutes long for a rental, but it's also because I'm probing a lot and I'm finding out like, okay, why a rental? Why not buying? Right. So if you're getting ghosted after you've onboarded them, you've shown properties, and then they're ghosting, it could be that they're not liking the houses and they're not telling you because they don't want to offend you. It could be a money situation. Something just happened along the way, right? And now they feel like, okay, I don't have the money like to do
And that's
this.
what I think it was. I think it was a money situation because there was two different places. One was going to be first, the other one's going to be second. And he didn't have the best credit, but we were going to try to, work something out. And I I gave him the application links and stuff like that. And at first he was just like, I'm pretty sure it was money, because he was just like, yeah, he's like, when I get paid again, I'm going to see about applying to this one. And then ever since that comment, I have not been able to get a hold of him at all. So that's why I was wondering, like, what should your contact be after that, and for how long, or whatever it looks like.
Straight up the truth, transparency. What is it? What are you worried about? The word application came out my mouth and your mouth, and then you ghosted me. What about the application worries you? Is it that you might get told no? Is it that you're going to pay this fee just to be told no? Right? What are you worried about? Just have the conversation. Why are we dancing around it?
Yeah, I know. I've been trying to, but he just not answering calls or texts or nothing.
And that's another reason why I do it the way I do it, like versus like that way, which is in pieces, right? Like I want to have everything up front before we go too far into it. Let me have everything up front, and I'll let them know. Like I'll pull the rent spree on my side. I know what the other side is going to be looking for. I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to make sure they don't judge you. And if they do judge you, they're going to judge you through me, and so you'll get a filter version of that, so it doesn't offend you. All right, I'm on your side. So I'm going to go through the rent spree stuff, right? And I'm going to prepare us for, what we're going to need to have a conversation about. If it's low credit, recent slow pays, if it's an unpaid rental collection, whatever it is, we'll prepare a letter of explanation. So when I present you to the other side, the questions I know they're going to have, if you see page 49 of the rental packet, there's a letter of explanation that explains the unpaid rental collection from 123 Main Street. The answer that the landlord the question that the landlord has, the answer is in that document. Please let us know. Oh, okay. Yeah, you got it.
I just wanted to say that I did everything to a T that Joe just explained. I didn't recreate anything except an email that I created that came from me to the other agents. But I did everything step by step for my rental client. She had 4 opportunities to go look at houses because those agents came back and said the landlord will consider her application. You are okay to go show. And in my email, it clearly stated, I have not shown the property and we are not going to go look at the property unless the landlord is going to consider her application and her situation. My client had 4 houses that she could choose from. We went and looked at them. And there was another house that was around the corner from one of them that wasn't on her list. And she said, can we go look at that one? I was like, sure, we're already there, like literally around the corner block. And then I looked it up and I'm like, oh gosh, because I remember what Joe said. Property managers are hard to work for. Like it's just not, they're just not going to do it. But my client was, I want to go see this house. It's a 4-bedroom. I said, okay, I'm going to go show it to you just because we're already here. And sent that packet to the landlord, to the property management that night, and they are taking her through the process. That property manager reached out to me on Friday night and said, thank you so much for the beautiful packet. The only thing is my client had to apply through their link, which cost her another $105. She didn't care. She was like, it doesn't matter. If they tell me no, I have 4 other choices. But I have to know if I can go through with this house because she really loved it. And over the weekend, we have been in contact with the property management company. The last step was her going through their pet link so that the pet could apply. And so it looks pretty positive that she could possibly get approved to this property manager. But don't reinvent the wheel. I'm saying all of this to say, don't reinvent the wheel. What Joe has created, what he is teaching us, what he is showing us is working. It works. And I have been in the business for over 30 years, and this is genius. Because I was going to go out and show properties, and Joe goes, no, you're crazy. Gas prices, time. Why are you doing that? This is how you need to do it. And I did it, and it works, guys. So don't reinvent it.
Is that your own packet or is that the packet that Joe has?
No, I created my own packet with what Joe told me to.
Would you be willing to share it with people later?
Is what I told you, Robin.
It's what he told you. I
Rinse
can't
free,
share.
rental app, proof of income. So pay stubs, IDs, letter of explanation if you need it. That's it. There's no like magic potion or anything fancy in the packet. Right? It's just what they're going to need. Every application you do is the stuff they're going to ask for. So just do that up front, have it prepared, and it's not really like what the packet says. I mean, it's important, but it's also the fact that how you present it, right? It's like, here you go. Here's a full-blown tenant ready to go. You don't even need to do anything. You just need to like forward this email to the landlord, and they're going to be like, oh crap, this is an agent that's got their crap together. The tenant's crap together. You already are off on a good foot. Like you are someone who's got their crap together. The tenant's got their crap together. I want someone who's got their crap together. Like, when can we get them moved in? Like that. Finally, someone's here with everything ready to go. How soon they want to move in, right? If I could summarize today's huddle, that's how you get people approved, regardless of credit, regardless of what they've been through. That is how you do it, is because you as an agent have your crap together, and you have your client's best interest at heart, and you're presenting your client in the best light versus, please approve us, please. That's what I'm saying. You're being their advocate. That's the kind of like summarize all of this.
Guys, this is the real estate industry in general. I need you to understand, like, this transcends just this type of transaction. If you go in to a deal and you write an offer on a house and you're missing spaces, or you put something wrong, you don't have your pre-approval letter, man, what do you think the seller or that agent's thinking? Like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to do their job and my job. The way this is set up is, hey, I'm putting it on the table, take it or leave it, we're in control. And I don't think people fully understand what it means to take control of a situation, like what it can do for you. You ever been around a leader who's like, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what's going on. Maybe. I don't know. Like, there's no plan. There's no system. There's no structure. You have faith in that? No, probably not. But when there's a plan and there's a structure, I mean, you're thinking, instead of the tenant thinking, well, maybe you can accept this or not. No, the landlord's like, oh my God, they're in control. We should probably go ahead and accept this. This is the only packet we've ever received like this. All the other ones are missing this and crappy here. Like you control. How often does a tenant really have that much control? Not a lot. In this situation, you're flipping the script. You're telling a whole new story to that landlord where they're like, am I in control? Are they in control? Should I just accept this? Because this is really good. It makes you rethink how a tenant behavior is. It makes the landlord rethink how they should behave in the relationship. It's genius, man. And stop trying to reinvent the wheel. Here's the thing. Lori said it. Guys, we try to overcomplicate stuff. Joe has done hundreds and hundreds of these transactions. Joe has compiled what landlords really want and what agents want to see. He's taken out all the guesswork. He's packaged it and he's delivered it for you to present to help you not have to show a million properties and totally waste your damn time. We try to get creative before we just do what the hell somebody's already done. That's what we talk about script practice and role play. Somebody said it. Somebody knows what works. Somebody's packaged it and they're delivering it to you. All you got to do is just repeat what they're giving you. You got it? Once you've used it 100 times and it works, maybe you earn the right to change it a little bit and get creative. Until then, just take what he's giving you and run with it. Cool? All right, guys. Thank you, Joe. Let's go.
You guys got it. Don't forget lease. We got Eat Week this week. And if you want to dive into leases a little bit more in detail, start to finish, how I do it A to Z, my class is tomorrow, 2 p.m. That's my plug. Thanks, y'all.
There's your plug. It is Eat Week. It's elite agent training. Get your lunch before 11. 11 to 3, we're going to be dropping bombs. I start today at 11. We're going to go over social media. We're going to go over rules of engagement, behavior, culture of the office. You need to be here at 11. You're going to get taught by some of the best in the industry that are in the trenches making really good money right now. We're not teaching you out of some dusty old college book, and we're not some retired old person that doesn't know what they're doing. We are in the trenches right now. We know what works. We're going to package and deliver to you in Eat Week. 11 to 3, Monday through Friday, this entire week. If you are not closing all the business that you want to close and you've already been to Eat, you should go again. If you are brand new here, you have to go to Eat.
What else is on the schedule for today after you?
Girl, don't ask me crazy questions. I just know what I do.
Well, I figured that was just in general and somebody would
I don't
know.
know. Lori,
It's me at 12.
I'm at 2.
So we got Whitney at 12, closing 43 plus transactions a year. She's going to teach you about representing. We've got Aislinn, who's got like 70 something listings she's working on right now. She's going to teach about what she does. I don't even know, right? If you're not showing up today and you're not closing all the business you want to, I'm going to start questioning whether or not you really want to stay in this damn business. You're about to be taught by some of the best today, and it is free. We're not charging you no $500 session today. Come in and get learned up, homie. That's what we're going to do today. Thank you, Joe. Penelope, what you got? She's trying to raise her hand. Can she unmute?
That was a mistake, but good morning.
Oh, my bad. Good morning. That's all good. All right. Let's get gratitude and bucket fillers, guys. Let's get our energy moving. What are we grateful for today? I need to hear it. I need one in this room, and then we're going to go one in Google Meets World in this room. Which one do you want to volunteer if I just call on you? What are you grateful for today? Yes. Okay. Tell us about it.
It's awesome. I was just thinking that on the way over here. He's just talking to me.
Let's go. Man, we should all talk about our partners like this. Right?
I got one.
We just don't say it out loud.
Keep it rolling. All right.
I got one.
Okay, go ahead, Robin. Well, actually, yeah, go, Robin. And then Lori, you want to go next?
Yes, please.
Okay, go ahead, Robin. What you got?
So mine's going to be also, I'm grateful for Willie because Man, I'm not very good in math. I try and work it out, but sometimes I get a little overwhelmed and upset, especially when it's something very, very important and I can't figure it out. I get super stressed out, upset, and then like my brain kind of shuts down and I can't figure nothing out. And so this weekend I was having a hard time with something and Willie was able to step in. He saw I was having a little bit of a meltdown and he kept his cool and was able to figure things out and got on the phone with the people that he needed to. And I just want to say, like, that's been our whole relationship. Maybe it took me a long time to see it and figure it out or something. I had to grow. But over the last few years, I've just seen where he is a good partner. He really steps up and stands out compared to a lot of men I've dated or been with in my life. And so it's just a blessing to have him, to have somebody that understands. I think he understands me. He knows how to work and function with me. So there's that.
Let's go, Willie. Lori, you are up. What you got?
I am grateful today for family. Saturday got to celebrate and see my sister, who, if you don't know, she's a flight attendant and we are very close. And I just don't get to see her often, even though we live only like 7 minutes apart. So being able to spend this whole weekend with her and all of my family, and I am going to be a great aunt to a nephew. And I'm so excited. So yeah, that's what I'm grateful for. Family, memories, and creating more.
Let's go, Lori. All right, I'm gonna open up one more. Anybody else want to go? Going once?
Why don't you go?
Me? I always talk. I'm good. I talk a lot.
I never hear you talk much about what you're grateful and bucket first, though.
I'm always talking. I'm always talking about what I'm grateful for. I live in gratitude. Anybody else want to go?
Me. Good
Get
morning,
it, Jacqueline. What you got, Jack?
everybody. No, I just got a really beautiful day there yesterday. That's I celebrate with my husband and niece. It has been a long time that I didn't take a beautiful day for me. So I'm so grateful for that. So now I have energy and happiness on me. Yeah, that's
Let's
it.
go.
Mhm.
I'm
Thank
gonna go
you.
ahead and say, let's hear it for the husbands. The husbands we make the world go round. All right, y'all ready? So it's Motivational Monday. Typically, you watch a video, something like that. We talk about certain things. Here's what I wanted to do today. I wanted to open up the conversation because, motivation is a word that gets a little confusing. And if we talk about Motivation Monday, it's like, we are going to motivate you. And I'm not sure that's a real thing. I think it can help inspire you. And I think it can help give you some ideas. But I really want to talk about motivation because I know what can happen during the summer. People check out sometimes and they maybe don't put in all the work they need to and their business starts to struggle. During the holidays, we see that happen a lot. I want us to talk about the difference between like motivation, inspiration, discipline, right? That's a big one. And just how do we stay in action? How do we stay? What is the difference between an agent that closes 43 transactions a year consistently every year and the agent that closes one every other month and they're trying their best to close 2 a month and they just can't get there and their business does this? What is the difference? What helps people to show up, do the action day in and day out to create a consistent paycheck in this business? Habits. Okay. Say it again.
They're planting seeds.
Planting seeds. Okay, let's talk about these things. So let's go to the basics of it, right? And I always go to like health and spirituality and things like that. So how many of you guys have ever had a struggle with like your weight or your health and you don't know if you want to get up and go do things and you fight the gym or you feel like, I know I shouldn't eat this cheeseburger, but I'm about to eat this cheeseburger anyways, right? And we just can't stay on track all the time. So How is it that in the same office we have people that struggle with stuff like that? Then we have people that are like in bodybuilding competitions in here where they're like eating like, I don't want to talk trash about like grains and like wheat and whatever. Like they're just eating like super healthy. And I'm over here like, man, I don't know how you do that. Every day you're eating chicken and broccoli or whatever it is. You know, Chelsea, you see Chelsea's lunches. And you just wonder how does she go through that? Why do I have such a hard time and why do I fall off the wagon so much? So what is it? What's the science of that?
Mindset.
Discipline, MyFit. Okay. Oh, there we go. So we're reading Atomic Habits. Let's talk about that. So in Atomic Habits, somebody said MyFit. So MyFit foods are like they're packaged meals you can go and buy. They're healthy. They have the calorie counts. You don't have to worry about all this crazy meal prep, all these things that make it a little more difficult. So we talk about things that support the habit and some things that create friction towards the habit. So if we remove friction could be, I know I'm not going to be the dude that grills 100 pieces of chicken on Monday or Sunday. I'm not going to be the one that gets my broccoli and all that. I'm sorry. I just haven't really been that person. Maybe I can be, but if I can't be that person or I'm not willing to be that person, somebody else will cook it for you at a reasonable price and you can just heat it up and roll with it and you know what you're getting. So you're removing friction of something that may not work with you to instill a habit in you, which is instead of going to Burger King or whatever the hell else your guilty pleasure is, I'm going to consume this because I made it easy for myself. Okay, so let's talk about that in real estate. How do you make it easy? Because I think what people do is they create this huge business plan. I'm going to close 1,000 transactions and I need to make 5,000 phone calls a day. And then you think about it, you're like, come on, fool, you ain't going to do that. Like, let's be real. Okay, so what can you do? What are the simplest things you can do? So I'll give you a few things out the back. Go ahead and say, what do you want to say? Setup system. So we call this building our bunker, right? Building a bunker to protect your lead generation, to keep lead generation consistent, to keep your conversations and your money-making abilities and tasks consistent, right? So what do you do to do that? And I think a lot of people fail to identify what hurts and what helps them. So number one, let's think about this. What are you doing the night before when you know you got to get up and get to work and build a habit? Some people are like binge watching Netflix and you stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning and the next morning you're like, oh, hell no, right? Sometimes it goes even further back. You drink tea or coffee in the evening, it keeps you up, and then the next day it's harder to wake up. Maybe it's not setting your alarms to say this is when I need to get up and get to where I need to be. So there's all these little things that lead up to showing up and building your business. And some people think it's, well, you know, it has more to do with me just getting on the phone and making the calls. Well, there's a lot of steps that lead up to that. And those steps that lead up to that could be the little things that cause the friction that stop you from doing what you're supposed to be doing. It could also be just your mind working against you. So when it comes to, let's just say being a successful agent, we'll stay in that, right? How many of you have closed enough business to where you believe you're a successful agent? And a lot of people, they don't feel that way. So what happens? You start thinking, I haven't done it. I'm not successful. Therefore, that's not me. And you can create this story in your head to just really beat yourself up about it, right? But I'm going to challenge you to go into what we call be, do, have, which I've written this down many times before. And a technique you can start to use is how you talk to yourself to get yourself moving into a discipline. So we'll go to workouts too. So if you know you want to work out in the morning to get your energy, to get your health and things going right, instead of saying, and we could say this to ourselves, I'm going to be honest, I'm a fat slob. I can't believe I'm so out of shape. These freaking man boobs are driving me crazy. Like all these things you can start to tell yourself to beat yourself up. Instead, Start to tell yourself something different. Be the person you want to be. What would a healthy person do right now? Would you get up and you get ready and you go work out? Okay, I'm a healthy person. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to get up and I'm going to get ready and I'm going to go work out. So start asking yourself that question. What would a successful agent do? They would do A, B, C, and D. Well, guess what? I'm a successful agent. So I'm going to do A, B, C, and D. But some of you guys, you're so hard on yourself. And this is the hard part of it is, and I talked to Christine about this on our coaching call on Friday or Saturday. And here's the deal. How much time do you spend around loved ones? So I'm gonna pick on Leticia, right? So let's talk about it. How much time do you spend around your husband?
Sometimes 24/7.
Sometimes 24/7.
Yeah.
But you go to sleep, so you're at least 8 hours without him. You're in your head, right? Or something like that. Or you come here and you're away from him. So, but are you typically like really supportive and positive towards him?
Yeah.
Okay, a lot, right?
Yeah.
So imagine that. I want us to realize the game that we play, the mental game we play. So you're with your significant other, your kids, your mom, or people you love. Let's say 3 hours a day, maybe 4 hours a day. Everybody's a little bit different. And you find the time to lift them up. You find the time, like if your kid came to you and said, or your husband said, I think I can accomplish this business, or I can go get this position, or I can be healthy, I can do all these things. You wouldn't say, no, you can't. You're gonna be fat for the rest of your life. Would you? No. If they said, I'm gonna try for this new promotion, you're like, you ain't gonna get that shit. Like, we wouldn't do that to them, right? We're spending 3 hours with them a day, and you're generally gonna try to lift them up. Now, don't get me wrong, you piss each other off, be an argument for a couple of days, that may be different. But traditionally speaking, you're gonna be really nice to the people that you love. And you're spending about 3 hours a day with them. You spend 100% of all the hours and every minute with yourself every day. You're in your head every day. The problem with most of us is that we just have this negative cycle on repeat. You look yourself in the mirror, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I can't do this. I'm not healthy. My business isn't where I want to be. I'm always behind. I'm such a failure. Like, can we agree that this voice can play a role in our head? I know if I'm alone, somebody tell me, but I think we all have that voice, right? And it's kicking our ass and it's programmed us and it treats us like garbage. So I ask you, what is the difference between how you treat and talk to your loved ones and how you treat and talk to yourself? And what if you could reprogram yourself to start talking to you the way that you talk to the people that you love? What could it really do for you? So here's the hard part is you've been programmed. That first thought, that negative thought, when you look in the mirror, you don't like what you see. That first thought when you look at the bank account and you're like, holy shit, I am not where I want to be, right? All these different things that are little triggers that automatically you start beating yourself up about. The truth is you're programmed subconsciously that you can't control that first thought. It is there. You see it, you think it, it's there. So we know that subconsciously is programmed into you. You can't control your first thought. You can control your second thought. And the difference in most people is they don't know how to get to the second thought, or they get in the first thought and they just beat themselves up so much before they try to turn it around and tell the truth about who you are. Instead of you're fat and ugly, it's no, I'm a healthy person. I'm moving in the right direction. I'm doing the things it's going to take for me to become the person I want to become. You have to replace that first thought with a positive second thought to really step into who you're going to be. But most of us don't even realize it. We stay in that first thought and we let it kick our ass. So I challenge you guys. So when the be, do, have is, when that first thought comes in, redirect it. I'm ugly. No, you're not. You are beautiful. Well, how do I know that? Because God don't make mistakes and he made me just the way I am. It's kind of crazy, right? How many of y'all, I mean, I'm going through this with my daughter right now. She just believes that she's not pretty at all and all these things. And I just ask myself if she could see me through her eyes, if she could see me through herself through my eyes, like, what would this be like? oh my gosh, she's so gorgeous. She's so perfect just the way she is. But yet I hear her say so many ugly things to herself, and it breaks my heart. So I'm in this battle to try to figure out, how do I help this little girl be the person she's meant to be, like really adopt what God has for her. And it's a psychological game. And the crazy thing is, if I can help myself start to win this psychological game, I believe I can help her too. And that's what I really need to do. So start to think the moment that negative thought sinks in, anything that tells you I'm not enough, I can't do this, I'm ugly, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other, like immediately ask yourself a line of questions that can redirect you. And what are those questions, right? So if it's I'll never have the business I want. What made me think that? Who planted that in my head? Who is the person that programmed me to believe I couldn't go and get anything I wanted? Okay, let's make sure to wipe that out. So we know that's not true, because you can go and get anything you want in this world. Do we believe that? You should. If you don't, you should. So, okay, so if we know we can go and get it, instead of saying, I can't have that, ask yourself, what would I have to do to make that happen? And then when you start opening up those possibilities of what you would have to do to make it happen, you're starting to create a roadmap, and your mind will subconsciously begin to pull you out. But it's all just through a series of questions you need to ask yourself to take you from the despair thoughts and the negative thoughts to the belief thoughts and I know who I am thoughts. And truth is, motivation can carry you for minutes, but when you subconsciously reprogram your mind of who you are and who you're going to be, it'll carry you for years. I know, because I've done the same shit for like 13 years now, day in and day out. And I don't do it because I'm the most successful person I've ever met. I do it because I program myself to believe in me, to do the things that I need to do, to be the best version of myself. It takes work. So start asking yourself, and you may be able to compare somebody, right? So if it's your health, who do you believe is one of the most healthy people in your world? Identify that person. Could be a celebrity, I don't know. Could be somebody you know. Could be the person at the gym. Could be the person that owns the gym. I don't know. Identify that person. And then ask yourself, well, what would a healthy person do? Well, they do this. I can do that. Then I'm going to do that. So you have to be that person. But a lot of times what happens is we've never identified that person. Who is it? If it's spirituality, it's not necessarily has to do with church or religion, but I mean spirituality. Who is the most spiritually grounded person I've ever met? Who is someone that has so much peace? They seem like they just have it all together. Like you could slap them in the face and they'd be like, I hope you're good. Like they're really, really solid. Who is that person? Okay, so I know it's possible and someone is doing it. If they can do it, I can too. So what would a peaceful person do? Well, they behave like that. I'm a peaceful person, so I'm going to behave like that. And I'll tell you what happens is it's a daily, minute, hourly, weekly. It's a programming that needs to go on every single day, so that when the hard time hits, you're prepared. Don't wait till you're about to get up in the morning to say, am I going to go work out or not? Program your mind for the entire week, the days before, the minutes before, to say it. What would a healthy person do? I'm a healthy person. That's what I'm going to do. So that when that alarm clock hits and you got a decision to make, you've already programmed your mind to say, I'm a healthy person. Eventually, you will believe it. And guess what happens? You get your ass out of bed and you go do what you got to do. So I'm going to challenge you guys to start asking yourself in all the realms of life, whether it's health, spirituality, business, what would that person do? So what would a successful real estate agent do? Okay, I want to find that out, and I'm going to emulate that. And then I'm going to say, after I ask myself, what would they do? And now I know, I'm going to complete it with saying, well, I'm a successful real estate agent, so that's what I'm going to do. And start holding yourself to that and watch the way the game changes. Health-wise, same thing. Who's that person? What do they do? Well, I'm a healthy person, so that's what I'm going to do. Spirituality-wise, same thing. Because I'm telling you, motivation is great. You can get all rawed up, but it's not going to carry you through the toughest times. You have to reprogram your subconscious, and you have to be willing to step into what that person, even when you're like, I don't feel like it. I don't believe it's going to give me what I'm looking for. I'm not feeling it today. What would they do? That's what I'm going to do. Go do it. And even sometimes it doesn't feel fruitful. You're like, well, this is what they do, so that's what I'm going to do. Have any of you ever thought about that? Started to work on that? Because I know for me, even the days when I doubt and I'm behind and things don't look the way I want them to, I just tell myself, what would a successful person do? Well, they would show up. They would show up to the office. They would get in their lead gen. They would make their calls. They would reach out to people, whatever they got to do. Okay, I'm successful, so that's what I'm going to do. And I just do it day in and day out until it becomes a habit. And my habit will supersede all the negativity in my mind. And then guess what ends up happening? My bank account starts to change too. But it starts with, you have to reprogram your mind. Then you get into the habits. And at that point, discipline in your mindset will carry you through the days when you're like, I really don't want to get out of bed today. So motivation is kind of a fallacy. But changing your mind, your subconscious, and building your habits is the game changer. Does it make sense? Has anybody got anything they want to add to this conversation? Anything at all?
I want to add my first year on the team, and pretty much like Ozzy has not really changed in what his expectations and what he preaches from 7 years ago when I joined the team. That first year was rough for me because I knew nothing about lead generation and I wanted to go hide. I did not want to make the calls. And one thing that Ozzy, what he's preaching now, the motivation isn't what got me to close over 52 transactions my first year on the team. It was the total opposite. But he said something to me one day and it stuck. And when I didn't want to get out of bed, I always told myself, this is the day. And he said, the day you want to quit is the day that you will break the ceiling and it will get you to your next level. And there were many days I wanted to quit. There were many days that I didn't want to make the calls. But I always said, okay, this is going to be the day that I break my ceiling. This is going to be the day that I move to the next level. And I kept telling myself that. And because of that, that is what it wasn't because I was like, oh yeah, let's get up out of bed. I got to go make calls today. Like, no, it was not like that. And I can remember days sitting in the office with Whitney and us just looking at each other going, just like we knew when we looked at each other, like, what the fuck are we going to do? Like, we didn't want to make the calls. And so I say all of that to say it's not going to be pretty. It's not this magical story where you just have all the motivation and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this today, because it's not. And your biggest battle is what's within. So the motivation isn't what's going to drive you. It's what is going to take you to change your mindset. Whatever you have to tell yourself every day, and it was me telling myself, this is my day. This is my day. And I'd come home defeated some days. I'd come home going, damn, it wasn't my day. I didn't even get an appointment, So just keep going. That's all I can tell you guys. Keep going. It is going to happen to all of you. And the biggest problem is we give up on ourselves before we give ourselves a chance. So just wanted to share that.
Anybody else? Going once, going twice. I'll tell you this, guys. One of the biggest kind of heartbreaks for me, or things that I see happen a lot, is you're getting a plane off a runway when you're launching your business, right? Or if your business isn't where you want it to be, and you have this runway, like, I need to make some money. And it can be a painful runway if you don't have anything under contract and you're wondering what's next and all these things are happening. But I'll tell you, one of the biggest mistakes people make is they're not consistent in their daily behavior. So they show up to the office 3 days a week. I'm gonna take today off. I'm gonna take tomorrow off. And this is the problem: is you're breaking a cycle of building a habit. So it's doing more damage than just missing your relationship building phone calls. It's breaking your habit. And I think that's where people really come into pain. The other part too is when you're trying to get a plane off the runway, you don't want to go half throttle. You don't want to go quarter throttle. You want to go full throttle. You want to show up every single day. You want to get your phone calls, conversations, your points every single day. And you don't want to miss a day when you're getting started. And it's kind of crazy because I want you to think about this. If right now I told you, Marcus, I'm going to pick on you. You ready? Hey, Marcus, I've got a job. I'm hiring you. I'm going to pay you $100,000, right? But all you got to do is you got to show up every day on time. You got to show up every day, and you got to stay till at least 5:30, and you got to make these phone calls. I'm going to tell you how to do it. We're going to work through that Monday through Friday. You're going to do open houses probably every other weekend, but you will make $100,000 this year. Would you do it? Yeah. At least $100,000, right? That is the promise. If you do it day in and day out for an entire year, you will make at least $100,000. That is what happens. Here's what I'm going to tell you. People stop showing up. They miss a day. They don't do the open houses. They don't make their calls. They just give up on themselves. It's usually around, like some people it happens a week too. You're like, what the hell? You don't even care. Some people it takes 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, but they're not in it for the long haul. And at the end of the year, they look at what they made and they're disappointed. It's a direct reflection of how much time you put into this. You'll go take a job with a W-2 for a company that will absolutely fire your ass. And you'll put in all the hours. You'll show up early. You'll leave late. And then you come in here and they're like, oh, maybe I'll show up today. Maybe I won't. If you do that at a job where you're a W-2, what happens if you show up twice a week? What happens if you show up every week for a week? You get fired. So what's happening in essence is when you stop showing up for yourself, you are firing yourself. You're firing yourself over and over and over again. And here's the deal: is how hard do you think it is to fire yourself and rehire yourself 10 times in a year? You're kicking your own ass. Like, it's crazy. So are you coachable? Are you hireable? Are you employable? Are you the person that absolutely, like everybody says, I want them on my team? And the only way we know is not by your resume. It's not by your past successes. It's by one thing. Are you showing the fuck up or not? That's all we're looking at. That's all anybody cares to look at. If you are not, if you're showing up late, if you are not showing up every day, if you're taking days off, right? Good luck. That does not give you a steady paycheck. But the first step is showing up. The second step is doing the work that is difficult, right? And it's the high paying work that actually gets you what you're looking for. Because I tell you, some people come in and I at 9, I'm like, let's get on the phone, let's make our calls. And I watch them walk to the water and get a drink. And then I watch them go to the bathroom. And then I watch them go in the other room. And I watch them do all kinds of shit. I'm like, what did you come here for? Like, you can go hang out with friends anywhere. We came here to create business. We came here so that you can honor and respect your spouses. Because, I mean, Letitia said it right. She's got an amazing husband. If you're spending your time away from your husband over here, I'm not fucking worth it. Neither is here. Nobody here is worth it to spend time away from your amazing husband. But you're here. Stop wasting his fucking time. Come here and get something out of it. Come here and pour into yourself and into your business and do what it's going to take to get where you want to go. Because every Every minute here is basically an hour away from your loved ones. Drive, like a focus, and you get back over there and you don't have enough business. So you're not thinking about them in the conversation. You're thinking about how you didn't do what you're supposed to do and how far you're behind. And you don't have any contacts. You're going to make any money. So you basically taking yourself out of the relationship with them because you didn't want to do what you were supposed to do when you were here. So I've told this to people before. I'm not going to be the reason why you get a divorce and lose your house. So if you're not willing to commit, you should probably leave. Or you should go home and have a serious conversation with your significant other and say, hey, I haven't been doing shit. I've been showing up. I've been making my calls. I've been hitting my points. How do you feel about that? And they're going to say, why are you even doing that? Go get a regular job. That's what they say. Regular job. I don't know about regular, but I know my checks cash like a mofo, and it's fun. Right? So when motivation fails you, your programming, your subconscious, your discipline, your commitment to you and your family, that shit should pull you up through all the hard stuff. So start asking yourself, am I programming my mind? Am I building the bunker around lead generation and building my business? Am I honoring my commitment to my family? Can I look in my family's eyes and say, I'm absolutely doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing and should doing every single day, day in and day out, consistently and habitually, to make sure we have a very, very fun family life. And we get to pay our bills and go on vacation and stuff. Or is it the truth? I'm not showing up on time. I'm barely even making it there. Some days I miss. I'm not making my calls. I'm not building the business. I'm not taking the action. Therefore, we may have trouble paying our bills. And we're probably not going to go on that vacation. And every time I leave you, I'm breaking my own heart because I'm not getting shit for it. It doesn't make sense for me to be out of your presence because I'm wasting my time over here. That's a painful but real conversation that you need to learn to have. Fair enough? All right, everybody up. Let's go.